Before we jump in, let's be real. This podcast contains jokes, laughter, and a whole lot of real talk. Yes, we cover serious crimes. Yes, we add a little humor, but never, and I mean never, at the expense of the victims or their families. If you're sensitive, easily offended, or the type to clutch your pearls every time someone laughs during a true crime story, this may not be the podcast for you. But if you like your true crime with a little bit of spice, a lot of honesty, and just enough petty to keep it fun, welcome to Melanin Mysteries, baby. Let's get into it. Hey, cousins. Welcome back to another episode of Melanin Mysteries, the podcast where true crime meets culture, connection, and the community we protect by telling our stories. And let me be clear, we tell our stories our way. No whitewashing, no watering it down, no erasing the truth just to make it palpable. If it happened to us, we're going to talk about it, period. And if you're new here, hey boo, welcome to the family. We're so glad you decided to pull up because around here, we don't just listen to cases, we feel them. We say the names, we honor the lives, and we dig into the stories that mainstream media love to overlook, especially when it comes to us. And for my day ones, my inbox detectives, and my messy mystery loving cousins, y'all already know the vibe. Grab your drink, pull that bonnet down tight, and get ready to roll with us because today's case, baby, it starts off with a breakup, but what happens next? We're talking about a young woman who had her whole life ahead of her. College, dreams, beauty, brains, the total package. But all of that was snatched away by someone who claimed to love her. And what he did after is probably going to be one of the most disturbing cover-ups we've ever discussed. So go ahead, light a candle, lock your door, and slip so, because this one right here is going to stay with you. I'm your host, Tiffany.
And I'm your co-host, Willie. This is a crazy one, y'all. Here we go.
Ooh, this man works your last nerve. Every time you swear you're done, you block him. You tell your girls it's over. But deep down, first love hits different. You can dress it up, call it healing, tell yourself you've moved on. But when his name pops up on your phone, you still answer. And that's the thing about him. He knows you'll always pick up. He knows the history, the memories, the way you used to love him. So when he called this time, you told yourself it was just to talk, just to get closure, just to prove that you're not the same girl who used to fall for his game. But you didn't know this wouldn't just be the last time you saw him. It'll be the last time you saw anybody.
Damn. All right, here we go, y'all. So Tynesha Stewart was born July 10th, 1987 in Galveston, Texas. Her mom was Gail Shields. Unfortunately, her father passed away when she was just 6 years old. She was also one of 6 children growing up. Tanisha stood out. Not only was she beautiful, she was smart, designed, destined for greatness. She grew up in Aldine, Texas, which is just outside of Houston. I think we got somebody in our group from Aldine, if I'm not mistaken. I believe so. I could be wrong. If you
I
do,
don't know. I know we got several people from Houston.
yeah, we got a couple people from Texas. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, if it is, anyway, shout out to Texas. By high school, she was managing the girls' basketball team as well as working at part time at Pizza Hut. When she was a junior, she met Timothy Wayne Shepard at Pizza Hut. I guess they were both co-workers. I used to work at Pizza Hut too. I worked in the call center when they used to call. Remember back in the day with Pizza Hut, you would actually call and place your order and it'd be like a call center. You remember that?
I remember that. And I also remember that my best memory of Pizza Hut was back in elementary school when we had Book It. I stayed with a free
I know
personal
your
pan
little smart
pizza.
ass did, cause you read. Look, you probably had about 15 personal pan pieces.
I did. I had like my mama never had to cook if she didn't want to. I always had a personal pan pizza. But keep going. We're off topic.
All right, no doubt, it's on you.
So Timothy Wayne Shepard was born around 1979 in Texas. His parents were Janice and Robert Miller Shepard. Unfortunately, Robert passed away when Tim was just 4 months old in a motorcycle accident. So Janice remarried when Tim was 2 to his stepfather, Preston Shields. Tim also had a little sister. We don't know her name. And for some reason, Janice never told Tim that Preston wasn't his biological father, and that caused some contention when Tim got to his teen years. But growing up, his mom said he was a sweet child, very well behaved, well mannered. Janice worked as a pharmacist, and Preston worked for Dr. Pepper. So their family was heavily into the church. Preston was a deacon, and Janice sang in the choir at the Greater Galilee Missionary Baptist Church. So Tim grew up in the church. He still regularly attended. But by the time Tim met Tynesha, he was 24. She
That's
was
just
16.
nasty. That's
Yeah, I said
just
it.
nasty.
Pedo vibes.
What is a
I don't care
24-year-old nigga looking at a 16-year-old? That's
because
just
he's a
crazy.
pedophile. That's why. I don't care what nobody says. Not my daughter, not my niece, not nothing.
Mm.
And here's the thing, when he slid into Tanisha's life, he was already a full-grown man with a baby girl of his own. Like, his daughter was a toddler. So, on top of that, he wasn't exactly Mr. Clean Record either. Because back in 98, he got popped for possession of prescription drugs obtained by fraud. So they did knock that down to a misdemeanor, but still. Then in 2002, he pled guilty to possession of marijuana. I might care about that. But basically, by the time he met her, he already had baggage and not the carry on kind. So maybe this was why he was working at Pizza Hut. He did have some college education, but he didn't finish, which
This
that don't mean nothing either.
24 and 16, that's crazy work. Anyway, now Tynesha, she brought this grown ass man to her mama, right? For some reason, her mama was cool with it. She said that Tim was such a nice man. She didn't really care for the fact that he was so much older than Tynesha, but she let her baby girl breathe and live a little. Right there, cut, cut, cut. Nigga, let my daughter bring home a grown ass nigga man like that. And nigga, first of all, I know
And
I
that's what I'm
can't
saying.
fight.
Why would you why as a parent would you be okay with your teenager
I
dating a
don't
grown
know.
man?
I know I can't fight, but I get my brother to whoop his ass. All right, because I'm just saying. But that's as a parent, I don't know, man. I'm gonna be quiet like that, man. Some people have parenting issues, but I digress, right? So,
They sure do.
yep, she want to let her live a little. I guess that's what she thought she was doing. She said that Tim was a computer whiz, and had he had more guidance, he could have been a millionaire. She noticed he was a bit possessive. Overall, he was a good guy. So not only
Okay, so stop right
right
there.
there, speak on it.
You're the mama.
The
Your
mama
your job is to guide your child.
guide your
You
child,
notice, hey, he's possessive.
nigga,
Mind you,
possessive,
couple that with the fact that he's a grown ass man and ain't got no business with a teenager.
pedophile.
Hello, mom. Hello.
Exactly, mama. Where was your what was your glances at? Where were you at? How you can't see this shit? Ow! Right there, red flags. Anyway, she said he could have been a millionaire because he was such a computer geek. And like I said, she noticed he was possessive. But anyway, he might come off like a good guy in the beginning, smiling, polite, all the things a family wants to see. But guess what? Behind closed doors, it was a different story, right? He started with arguments, then it turned to the physical. So the nigga liked to put his hands on women. So there are reports that he gave Tynesha a black eye. Now, nigga, not only know what I'm saying? Are you hitting? But nigga, that's child abuse. Cause she's a kid. She's under 18. So technically, my nigga, it's assault and child abuse, man.
And again, where is her parents?
Please. I don't get it, man. Anyway, and that wasn't just some rumor floating around. Her own stepfather later said that he had to chase Tim clean out the house over how he was treating her. So the stepfather was gonna whoop his ass and the nigga took off. So by this point, we're not talking about a rough path in a relationship. We're talking about a grown man putting his hands on a teenage girl. Now that's a whole different level of wrong right there. This I told y'all this story is crazy. Like and the shit get worse, man. Just throwing it out there. So please buckle up and be prepared.
Yeah. So Tynesha didn't let Tim get in the way of her goals, though. Sis was brilliant. She graduated in the top 10% of her class in 2005. She wasn't just book smart, she was also driven. She won a scholarship to Texas A&M, and out of hundreds of students, she was only one of 15 that was selected.
Mm,
Now,
mm.
I'm not 100% sure how accurate this next part is, but I did see a report that said that Tynesha and Tim had an apartment together. She was still a minor at that
I
time.
don't get
And again, to me, that's just not cool on her
Mama, look,
parents'
look, look.
end.
Mama need her ass beat. I ain't gonna lie. Mama need her ass beat because you ain't mama right now. You are not parenting at the, you know what I'm saying, your highest level of capacity. So you need your
Okay, so just
deadbeat.
like slightly off topic, because then I'm speaking to this as a parent. When my son turned 18, his girlfriend, she was 16. And remember, I had an issue with I didn't know that the girl's mama was allowing him to sleep over her house. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't, and I spoke to the mother. I said, I don't think this is appropriate. First of all, I'm not trying to be nobody's grandma at 36. I said,
Amen.
but furthermore, I just don't think this is appropriate to have my child laid up with your daughter. It's not and she just laughed it off like it's funny. Y'all need to think about these things. And I'm still sitting like, okay, my son is about to turn 18. She's still 16. I understand what the age of consent is, but if something goes down, that's on my child, on his
No, I
record.
got you. But the mama allowing that shit. And the fact that the mama is allowing your son, right, to sleep over her house with her 60-year-old daughter, that speaks volumes on the mama. She ain't
And it does. It really does. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, these are things like, I mean, yeah, we're young parents and all that, but I still have boundaries and I'm still very conscious about what I let my children do.
nigga, I'm
Then
with you,
what
man.
means you ain't about to be laid up in my house? I don't care how old
Nigga,
you are,
look,
you're not about to be laid up in my house.
my daughter grown as hell, and I won't let her and her little girlfriend sleep at my house. Little nasty little
When you're
niggas.
married, you can lay up at my house. Outside
Amen
of
to
that,
that.
absolutely not. Mm-mm.
Ain't gonna be no
I wasn't allowed to
shacking
do
up.
it, and you can't either. Mm-mm.
Ain't
Not in
no
my house.
shacking up.
What you do outside, that's on you, but not in my house.
Not in Mrs. Greenhouse.
Keep
All right,
going,
go
please.
ahead.
It's
All right.
on you,
I
actually.
know it is. I know it is. I'm laughing because I said that. Like, not Mrs. Green. Okay, now, so this was her out. Going away to school was her chance to finally get some distance. Texas A&M in College Station was actually a few hours from Aldine. So that was far enough to breathe, to focus, and just to be a young adult, right? Because I'm sorry. I feel like at the age of 16, you don't need to be in no serious relationship. Plus, that young love, that shit be the most toxic, dangerous shit in the world,
I
right?
agree.
So I'm just saying, right? So it meant time away from this controlling ass boyfriend she had in that dumbass toxic relationship that she was never even supposed to be in. This was a grown man grooming a child, trying to mold her into exactly what he wanted her to be. And when she didn't fall in line, like a coward, the nigga started putting his hands on her and try to force her to be what it is he wanted her to be.
So, with some distance, Tanisha started to come into her own. She's making friends, she's exploring, she's just being a college kid with no responsibilities, like a broke ass grown man with a hand problem and a toddler. Just saying. And while she's out there living her best college girl life, she like, I don't need that nigga and all his drama. Because just like a controlling nigga, here he is blowing up her phone, wanting to know where she at, who she with, what she doing. And he was like, baby, I miss you. No, he wasn't doing none of that. He was just mean when he would call her. Like, damn, let her breathe. Like, she like, you know what? I ain't got to take this. And she decides to exit stage left. Okay, smart girl, smart young girl. And it seemed like Tim was getting the hint. His calls start to slow up, and eventually he stops calling. So Tanisha meets someone her own age. His name was Mark. Now, I'm not sure if word got back to Tim, but by February 2007, Tim started up with them damn phone calls again. And like I said before, he wasn't calling no baby, take me back, I'm gonna do better. No, he was threatening her, calling her out of her name. Nothing that would even make her want to be bothered. Like, it had gotten so bad when she was supposed to go home for spring break, she didn't even want to go because she didn't want to run into him.
That's crazy. So look, March 2007 rolls around and Tynesha decides, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and go home. Specifically March 15th, 2007. So Tynesha was visiting with a friend, Lewis Greenwood's house back in Houston. Now, for some reason, Tim knew she was in Houston and he hit her up. Talk about, hey, I just want to talk. So in the morning of March 15th, when Tim picked her up, she told Lewis that she will be back in just a few. Fucking big mistake. Women, when it's over, let it be over. Y'all don't need no the closure or just one more conversation. Nigga, you got email, text,
Look,
Snapchat,
the
IG,
closure, the
DM.
closure is when he disrespected you. Leave him where he had you fucked up
Yes,
at.
like,
That closure, what you think is
yes.
closure means nothing. Leave him. The closure was when he disrespected you. Leave him where he had you fucked up at,
Let me tell
sis.
you. Hey, look, you already know me. My closure is, nigga, I fade to black. That's my closure. You just ain't we ain't gotta talk about nothing. It's obvious where this is about to go, and I know where I'm about to go. So deuces, and I'm done. You know what
I
I'm
don't even
saying?
date it.
So
You know my black
again,
button, my black finger, like a trigger
I ain't
finger.
gonna
Oh,
block
I
you.
blocked you
Nigga,
two
I'm
two
just
point
gonna
five
fade to
seconds.
black.
You took go to text me block.
Oh, we know.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, nigga, I ain't gonna even block you, my nigga. I'm gonna let you see me living. I ain't block you off Facebook or anything, nigga. You gonna see me living. I'm just saying. So anyway, but unfortunately, she went with him, but she never came back. So Lewis reached out to Tynesha's mom because she was concerned. Tynesha's younger sister was the last in the family to speak with her around 12 p.m. And guess what? She was with Tim.
Ready to turn heads from the block to the bridal aisle? Then you need something custom from My Crafting Dreams, where we take your kicks and carry ons from basic to blinding. We're talking fully blinged out Crocs, slides, Jordan 1s, Air Force 1s, and even bog bags that'll have folks stopping mid stroll to say, "Where'd you get that?" Celebrating a birthday, getting married, hitting a girl's trip, or you just want to let the world know that you don't come to play. Let us customize your look from head to toe, literally. Visit mycraftingdreams.com to place your order and follow My Crafting Dreams on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook to see the magic for yourself. My Crafting Dreams, where your shoes, slides, and bags stay blinged, bold, and built to be seen. So after not being able to get in touch with Tanisha for hours and hours, and Tim was the last one she was known to be with, and knowing his history, Gail was like, and went to the police station to file a missing persons report. And she says that Tim was the last one to have seen her daughter, and that's where they needed to start. Now, this is where the timeline starts to get messy, cousins. Some reports say that Gail filed the missing persons report on March 15th. Others swear it was March 16th. Either way, by March 16th, the neighbors were side eyeing Tim like, something ain't right. See, Tim was known to barbecue. That's not unusual. But what was unusual was the smell. And baby, this wasn't that mouth-watering aroma of ribs or hot dogs. No, this was foul, wrong, and just unsettling. So one neighbor, his name was James Herbert. He knew Tanisha very well. He, seen her around plenty because he lived right next door to Tim. Him and Tim were cool, real cool. Like they grilled together. But the day after James last saw Tanisha, he noticed Tim out in the patio grilling again and again for hours. So James joking was like, "Hey, let me get a plate," but him to them with like, "Nah, this is for a wedding." So he's like, "Okay, that's weird because they usually would swap plates."
Like nobody want that stinking ass meat you cooking, nigga. Go ahead.
So then James' girlfriend peeped the situation. She was like, hold up. That fire is getting out of control and that smell is not normal. And listen, she wasn't about to let them set her expensive apartment up in flames, okay? She calls the fire department because who got time to be paying high rent just to end up homeless? She said, not I.
No, no, no. So look, here's how it went down. Robert Logan from Ponderosa Volunteer Fire and Deputy Russell from Harris County rolled up to Tim's apartment. By the time they get there, there's no fire. But they still want to make sure that nothing's going to spark up and turn into a problem. So they knock and they tell Tim, "Hey, look, we got a complaint about the smoke and that stinking ass meat you cooking." He plays it cool, said, "Nah, man, I'm just cooking for a wedding." You know what I'm saying? And they probably like, "Nigga, I won't pay you to do shit." But anyway, they asked if they could step in just to check things out. At first, Tim's like, "Nah, nah, nah." But after a little back and forth, he finally lets them in. No flames. So, of course, that's a good thing. But then they spot meat in the bathtub, right? Let me repeat that. It's meat in the same place that you wash your ass, the bathtub. And not like a little. We talking rib bones and a couple other chunks just floating in a bathtub. Okay? Just throwing that out there. In the kitchen, Russell sees three small burnt chickens on the stove. One was still smoking like it just came off the grill. And get this, they look around, decide they don't see anything unusual, and they walk right back out. Now, I don't expect them to. Just the
First of
fire
all, I mean,
department.
I'm
You know
sorry.
what I'm saying?
You don't find floating meat in the bathtub unusual?
I mean, niggas is nasty. I mean, I'm not trying to be funny. You can't. Niggas is nasty. Let's just be honest. I know I wouldn't call the nigga to cater my event. You know what I'm saying? But in their mind, they probably not thinking like it's anything more than like this nigga, bro. They probably were like, this nigga had meat in the bathtub. Hell no. Know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? You can't really knock them for that.
Mm. Now hold on, because if somebody walk in the bathroom and see ribs floating in the tub, that's unusual as hell to me. I don't care what excuse you give me, family wedding, family reunion, backyard cookout, whatever. Meat don't belong in the damn bathroom. Period. Dot.
Hell no.
And let's talk about these chickens. Three little burnt birds sitting on the stove,
Chickens.
and one of them still smoking like it had just hopped off the grill. But y'all ain't telling me nothing about that scene sets off alarm bells. Something don't sit right with me. It's giving I don't want to deal with paperwork today. Now, later that day, Gail also follows up with Tim because where is her child? And that's just not like her to disappear and not answer her phone. So Tim gives Gail the same story. Him and Tynesha, they got into an argument and she left on foot. That's all. That's it. But you know how us mamas are. We can feel when something ain't right with our babies. And Gail's motherly instincts weren't just whispering, they were straight up screaming. And she a black mama? We don't let nothing slide. I call it the voice. You know that one voice that's like low, calm, and scary as hell? The one where she's trying to keep it together, but you know if you don't get in line like right now, all hell about to break loose. Gail had to pull that voice out because the police department was moving way too slow for her taste. And for real, if this had been a blonde haired, blue eyed girl named Emily, they would have been on it the minute Gail walked in. So by Monday, March 19th, 2007, Gail was done playing nice. And I'm willing to bet she marched right into that station, hit them with the voice, and got folks information. Because that same day, Harris County Deputy Wallace Wyatt, Gail, and Lois, one of Tanisha's friends, they headed right over to Tim's apartment.
So when they got to Tim's apartment, it wasn't no dramatic scene or sirens, no flashing lights, just three people on the mission. Wyatt nods, Tim answers, and you can feel the air get heavy. Now, Tim doesn't know yet that Gail been in Mama Bear mode for days, gathering every ounce of patience she has left just to get here. She's calm, but her eyes, nah, they locked in. You know what I'm saying? You don't mess with somebody's child. And they locked in on him like she's reading every lie before it even leaves his mouth. So Deputy Wyatt asked Tim about Tynesha. And Tim keeps it casual, like, yeah, she was here, but we got into an argument about her having some new boyfriend and she left on foot. No emotion, no concern, just flat. So Wyatt then asked if he could take a look around, and Tim like, yeah, go ahead. Now, cousins, Wyatt steps inside and immediately notices this place is nasty as hell. I'm talking about dirty, dirty. The type of dirty where you side eye any food coming out that kitchen. That's why you can't eat everybody food. You know what I'm saying? And this man out here cooking and handing out plates to folks. Right? So look, they also see that it's one spot on the wall where it looks like it's been freshly painted over. Now, it's not screaming crime scene right there in the end, but it's definitely one of those mental notes you tuck away like, yeah, let me go ahead and circle back to that. So nothing else jumps out at the moment. So Wyatt leaves without pushing harder, but trust, sees a suspicion were planted. And that apartment was going to see more visitors real soon.
And here's the thing, cousins. Too often, when the police drag their feet, it's the families, especially us, that end up doing the work. We're knocking on doors, we're making calls, we're piecing together timelines like we're on the payroll. But we're not detectives. We're grieving, we're scared, and we are desperate. And the truth is, when it's a black woman or girl that's missing, that sense of urgency just is just not there. Because we've seen it time and time again. So Gail didn't wait for permission to care about her daughter. She stayed on their ass. She pushed and she kept showing up because she knew if she stopped, if she went home and stayed quiet, Tanisha's name might have never left the police station desk. And the very next day, March 20th, 2007, the search moves into high gear. A team sets up at the Abiding Word Church, and there was a Sergeant Yvonne Cooper from the Harris County Sheriff's Office. She gets dispatched there and she pulls up about 6:10 p.m. And guess who else is headed that way? Tim's ass. Mm-hmm. Now, Yvonne knows that he's the last confirmed person to see Tynesha. So she locks in, and as soon as he arrives, she asks if he'll give her, a written statement. And he like, okay, cool, no problem. And she follows that with, mind if we take a look at your car? He like, nope. He flat out refuses. But that no doesn't stop her. So Yvonne has him take a seat in the back of her squad car and she personally drives him down to the Harris County Sheriff's Office. It's still polite on the surface, but the shift is clear. Tim's not just a name on the witness list, he is the name.
Mm. So they pull up to the station around 8:30 that night, and now Tim's singing a little different song. He agrees to let them search both his car and his apartment. Sergeant Cooper gets the keys and heads straight to start the inspection. Meanwhile, Tim's sitting in the inner room, and let me tell you, it's one thing to run your mouth out in these streets, but it's a whole different game when you come across investigators in the sheriff's office, right? So they start asking him to walk them through what happened. And it's the same tired ass story. They argued about her having a new boyfriend. She left on foot, and that was the last he saw of her. But the thing is, when you got nothing to hide, you can say it once and mean it. This nigga was repeating it like he's trying to convince himself, not them. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So yeah, she did. Yup, that's right, she did. She walked out. All right, yup, I saw her. She left and everything. And while he's in a chair thinking he's holding it together, officers are already moving on this apartment, looking for anything that ties him to Tynesha and try to find out where she really was.
While Tim's in that interview room, Sergeant Cooper is unlocking his door and stepping inside, so she's got fresh eyes. Not like the first walkthrough where folks somehow missed the bathroom full of meat. This time, she's looking for anything that doesn't sit right. And what she's about to see is going to shift this case from we're looking for a missing person to we might be looking for something way darker. So, cousins, you ever walk into a place and feel like the air change, like it's heavier, thicker, almost warning you that you're about to see something that you can't unsee? And that's exactly what Sergeant Cooper stepped into when she opened Tim's door.
So Sergeant Cooper's walking through the place, and right away he spots something off. Patches of fresh white paint on the walls. Now, to the untrained eye, maybe that's just a little home improvement, but to her, nah, dog, that's a red flag waving. Fresh paint can mean somebody trying to cover something up. She pulls out a presumptive blood test kit, the kind that can tell you real quick if what you see in the blood, and sure enough, positive. Behind her bathroom light switch at the base of the toilet and along the edge of the tub. Cuzzos, check this out. We're not talking about some tiny drip in the corner. These are spots that tell a story, and unfortunately, not a good one. Tim's in that interview room telling one version, but this bathroom, bruh, it's telling a whole different version.
So, this is where the case turns. Up until now, it's been a missing persons investigation. Everybody's hoping that maybe she's somewhere safe. Maybe she'll walk through the door. But when you've got blood in multiple spots in a man's bathroom, ain't no more maybe. And that's when investigators start calling it what it is, a possible homicide. So from that point forward, every question, every search, every step they take is about finding out not just where Tynesha is, but what Tim did to her. And let me tell you, what they're about to uncover is going to have you side eyeing your neighbors and triple locking your doors.
So at this point, they're not just walking through his place and taking notes. Investigators are ready to really get into it. They know they got a probable cause now. Blood in the bathroom, fresh paint on the walls, a missing woman. Yeah, dog, that's enough to push for a search warrant. Once that paperwork was signed, it's open season on Tim's apartment. They're going to be pulling up carpets, swabbing every surface, checking drains, vents, anywhere DNA could be hiding. And you better believe they're bagging every single thing that could connect the dots because now it's just about proving she was there. It was not just about proving she was there. It's about proving she never left alive. And that's a horrible situation. So when that search team goes in with the warrant, they're moving slow. Every corner, every crack, every surface get hit. And in the middle of it all, they start finding more blood evidence. Swabs come back positive in places you wouldn't even think to check. Behind the baseboards, along the edges where the floor meets the wall. There aren't random drops, cousin. This is the kind of stuff you see when someone tries to clean. We talk about paint and this and that, and you just praying nobody notices. They collect samples from the tub, from around the toilet, and even from areas in the kitchen. And all of this starts stacking up like a bad hand in a card game, right? Tim might still be talking like this was just an argument and she walked out, but his apartment is screaming a whole different story. So imagine this, right? Imagine sitting in the interrogation room, thinking you being slick, telling the same story. We argue, she left, blah, 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 right? But while you're in there, the detectives out there turning your apartment into a crime scene. When they walk back in, they're not just looking at you anymore. They looking through you. They got photos, swab, laugh taps, receipts, and the tone, oh, baby, is different. They ain't just looking at you. Now these niggas leaning forward, voices low, eyes locked. Like, nigga, you know you done fucked up, right? Oh yeah, you know you done fucked up. So at first, Tim's holding his ground like a man holding on to his last thread of a lie. But pressure, you know what pressure does? Pressure bursts pipes. And guess what? It make cracks. And it's just making more and more for that brother. So he starts tweaking the details. Now it's not just we argued and she left. Suddenly she started changing. He like, you know what? Maybe she said something that made me mad. Maybe she was acting different. See, what he's trying to do is he's trying to test to see what they know without giving up too much information. But the thing about lying under pressure, you got to keep your story straight. And Tim's, that nigga's story was not straight. Every time they circle back, something kept shifting. Time changed, words changed, even the way he says it changes. Now the detectives can smell that weakness and they poking at it, right? So by the time they leave him alone, he's not the same cocky ass dude that walked in. Now he's sitting there knowing they got more than he thought. And that door starting to close in on him. That nigga getting nervous. That boy brother shaking like booty meat.
Sweet Jesus. So here's the part that'll make you want to throw something. By March 20th, they already had positive presumptive blood tests from Tim's apartment, behind the bathroom light switch, at the base of the toilet, and on the edge of the tub. So they saw the fresh white paint that looked like it was covering something. And still, they let him go.
God, come on, man. You got to be more careful. Nah, nigga, come on. All that
And they
evidence.
let him go.
Nigga, they took OJ to jail off a glove. And they got damn meat particles and blood stains all in his apartment. They didn't take him in. Got to be more careful.
So March 24th, oh my gosh. So March 21st, y'all, this man actually picks up the phone and calls Quanell X. So, if you don't know, Quanell X is the leader of the new Black Panther Nation in Houston, and he has a long history of stepping into cases where the community needs answers. So Tim reaches out and he like, I want to talk to you. So they link up and they go to Tim's apartment. Now, this is where things start to get a little weird. So they walk in and Tim is like suddenly looking around like he's in some kind of spy movie. And he tells Quanell he doesn't want to talk in the bathroom because he thinks his apartment is bugged. Sir, ain't nobody wasting taxpayer dollars to tap into your raggedy ass walls. You ain't Pablo Escobar, you just a sorry ass nigga with a foul soul and a record. So they step outside, and that's when it starts spilling out. Cornell asks him straight up, quote, "Are you sure you don't know what happened to this sister?" And Tim, instead of giving a straight answer, hits him with, and this is a direct quote, "Man, they gonna kill me. They gonna give me the death penalty." Oh, so now you're scared. You weren't scared when you were putting your hands on her. You weren't scared when you decided her life wasn't worth living. But now it's your neck on the line. So you shaking in your little size 11 knockoff sneakers. Oh, okay. So Quanell, being smarter than your average, tells him to speak with his attorney. But Tim, like, nah, he got that coward's conscience that's starting to creep in. And he tells Quanell where he started over. He tells Quanell he'll take him to where he hid Tynesha's body. Hid, y'all. Not buried with dignity, not laid to rest, hid like a piece of trash. So Cornell does the right thing and he calls the Harris County Sheriff's Office. So a Sergeant Miller meets them and they all get into Cornell's car and Tim directs them like a GPS straight to the devil's doorstep. Where does he lead them? Not a quiet field, not a remote spot in the woods. No. This fool pulls up to another apartment complex and points to a dumpster. A dumpster. That is where he dumped the body of a 19-year-old woman who loved him enough to give him chance after chance. That's where he left her like she was nothing more than last week's garbage. I swear, if there's a basement in hell, that's where Tim belongs. Locked in with no windows, no grill, and no air. And when I tell you my blood pressure goes up every time I talk every time I think about him eating, sleeping, and breathing after doing something like this, child, hmm. So
Mm.
as soon as Tim points out the dumpster like he's giving somebody directions to a damn barbecue spot, Sergeant Miller don't waste no time. He's placed under arrest right there. No more, I'm cooking for a wedding. No more, she just walked out. Sir, your lies have expired the moment you said dumpster. Now, here's the part that makes my skin crawl. The dumpster had already been empty. So that means wherever Tim threw away the remains of Tynesha, her clothes, anything that could have helped them piece together the truth, it had been hauled off like regular trash. And the reality hits that evidence is gone, mixed in with tons of garbage at a landfill somewhere. And you can't rewind it. You can't undo it. You can't go back and retrieve what he took from her family. But don't think for a second this was some moment of coming clean. This wasn't Tim suddenly finding his conscience. This was Tim because he was cornered. That dumpster confession was like the last move of a man who knew his walls were closing in. And honestly, I hope every wall in whatever cell he's in right now feels like it's pressing on him every damn day. So by the time he's in custody, the case shifts. So now it's not about where's Tynesha, it's about proving exactly what this raggedy, trifling, no good man did to her.
No good,
And
nigga.
best believe the evidence was already stacked up. They just needed him in cuffs.
Mm. So once they got Tim's sorry self down to the station, it was business as usual for law enforcement. They snapped photos, checked him over for cuts, bruises, anything that might tie him to a struggle. And what do you know? Before the flash on the camera even cooled down, Tim pipes up like, I want my attorney. Now here's the kicker. The attorney he wanted was actually Cornell's ex-personal attorney. Yes, the same Cornell he had just been talking 2 hours before. Baby, the ADA shut that down immediately. That's a conflict of interest. You're not about to turn it into some shady buddy legal triangle. But for whatever reason, they still allowed Tim to meet with him briefly before telling him, nah, bruh, can't represent you. And after that little sidebar, Tim suddenly decides he was ready to give a statement. Funny how folks get chatty once they think they got a lifeline, huh? But spoiler alert, that lifeline was about to get cut real short.
So before we get exactly into what he did, we do need to hit pause and give y'all a heads up because this part is very graphic. Okay? So be sensitive. I'm telling you, it's very graphic. But first,
Yeah, for real though. This nigga ain't shit. Just throwing it out
but
there.
first, let's talk about the pitiful excuse he tried to pass off as a confession. So he really sat there and tried to claim self-defense. He said that him and Tynesha argued because she wouldn't give him an answer about Mark, the man she was allegedly seeing. That ain't none of your goddamn business. Anyway, then according to him, she grabbed a knife, swung at him, and nicked his fingers. Mhm. So he claimed he was afraid she was going to stab him again. How stab and nicked are two totally different things. So he grabbed her by her neck with one arm while trying to get the knife with the other and ended up choking her to death. Now, that was his version, the one he thought would soften what came next. But when you strip away the excuses, here's the truth. After killing her, he panicked and decided to cover his tracks. So what does he do? Instead of, being smart and saying, oh, shoot, I messed up, I'll turn myself in. No, he ain't do that. That would be too much like right. He went to a nearby hardware store. He went to a nearby hardware store, bought an electric jigsaw. He put her body in the tub and dismembered her using the jigsaw. Then he pulls out some pliers and commenced to pulling out all of her teeth. And then he burned them in his smoker grill on the patio along with some of her body parts. And we're not done yet because the rest of her that was left, he stuffed it into a plastic box, slid it down the stairs, loaded it into his car, and dumped it in a trash dumpster. And then
This
he burned the
nigga.
clothes and shoes he had
Foul.
been wearing along with her clothes. You sorry, raggedy piece of shit nigga.
Damn.
You
Go ahead.
I mean, it's already one thing that you did, but to dismember her and then you pulled out her teeth one by one, that is depraved.
And this nigga was cooking her like she was goddamn shish kebab too. Don't forget that
Like, I,
part.
I don't understand. Like, it's one thing to murder someone and dump the body. You went to hell with it. I don't understand.
I know that's why that nigga the worst of the worst need to happen to that nigga, man. The worst.
So
Yes.
this where my blood really starts boiling. And if you're listening to this, yours should too. So when Tim points out the dumpster, investigators, they like we said, they said it had already been emptied and went to the landfill. Now you would think with a confession, with him literally saying, "This is where I dumped her," they would have moved heaven and earth to bring her home. Mm-mm. They didn't move fast enough. By the time they got there, her remains were buried under 40 tons of garbage and crushed by heavy
Mm,
machinery. And instead of putting together a full scale recovery, the Harris County Sheriff's Office said it would be nearly impossible to excavate that much landfill. They didn't even try. They like just gave up. But people were furious. Like people was not having it. The community was not having it. Letters started flooding into the Houston Chronicle. Citizens were demanding to know why no formal search was done. Texas A&M Texas A&M even stepped up and offered $500,000 to help cover the cost of a proper search. Ordinary citizens were volunteering their time and energy to help dig through that landfill. And you know what the sheriff's office said? No.
mm.
When Tynesha's mama, Gail, heard they weren't going to look, she said, and I quote, "It just broke my heart that they could put a dollar amount on a person's life, especially if they probably know where she is, and they just want us to leave her out there in the trash because of a dollar amount. I just can't understand that." Let that sink in. A dollar amount. That's what her baby's life was worth to them. And this wasn't just Gail speaking up. Her uncles, she had some famous uncles. They used their platforms to call out the sheriff's office for dragging their feet and failing to act. So the pressure was real. But it wasn't until the outrage hit a boiling point that the sheriff's office finally said, "Okay, we'll go back in." But by then, the odds of finding her were like next to nothing.
All right, stop. That's look, let me tell you, right? That's crazy. The fact that we're trying to force you to do your job when you know if it was Becky with the good hair, this shit would they would have been found remains in there. And it just goes to show you, and I'm not making this political, but when they make comments like America is not a racist country, just proves it is. Because you know for a fact if it was a white woman, they would have went through hell and back to get
Yes.
that. And people are volunteering money and their time, and you still say no? That's bullshit right there. Excuse my
No,
French. And
it
it's
just straight up is. So time had passed, the trash had been compacted, and every hour that they wasted, it made the search harder. So they didn't just drop the ball. No, they fumbled it, they kicked it into traffic, and then they acted like they didn't see it roll away.
Man, I'm gonna sue the shit out them dudes, man. All right, cuzzo. So look, let's wrap this up. On March 21st, that's my mama's birthday. Shout out to my mama. Tim finally got charged and slapped with a $250,000 bail. Now, first of all, they dropping the ball every which way when it come down to this case, nigga. The investigation, you let the nigga free, and you only give him a $250,000 bond, and this nigga was barbecuing another individual. Come on, my nigga, that's crazy. You know what? His own family didn't even step up to get lower because they know this nigga was in shit. They like, we don't want this nigga out. So that's how you know he messed up. When your family ain't doing a fish fry for you or go GoFundMe to get you out, you know you a piece of shit ass individual. Just throwing it out there. But Tim, this fool still tried to take it to trial like the evidence wasn't stacked up against this nigga, right? So jury selection started September 29, 2008. And after all the testimony the jury took, how many hours you think they took, Tiffany? How many
It
hours?
shouldn't have been no hours. It should have been, we don't even need to go out. He guilty. Yeah, we don't need to deliberate. He guilty. What you
I
want?
don't even want lunch. After hearing about that bullshit at barbecue, I ain't even hungry no more. But you know what? They took 4 hours to come back with a guilty verdict on October 9th. The next day, they didn't hold back. They gave this nigga 99 years. That's a slap in the face because they said, forget life, nigga. We just gonna give you
No, you know
99
what? I
years. You
like
know
the
what I'm saying?
years. I like when they give years because
I do.
you feel
I
the
do.
weight of it more.
You feel
Yes, you
it.
feel the weight of it more.
Like the weight of Big Bubba touching your Bucci cat at
Like
night. Just throwing out there because that's what needs to
there was
happen.
one case where, because I was looking it up, one case where they covered and they gave them the man like 1,400 years. I looked to see what was like the most sentence that anybody had ever got, and it was somebody I think in Colorado, somewhere, but they gave this man 141,000 years.
God
So I think
damn. Like
that I
that's
think the weight of that being thrown at you is way worse than just saying we're gonna give you life.
It's that life. Because in reality, life is like 25
Yeah, depending
years.
on you can have life of parole, you can do 15 to life and get out after 15 years, you know what I'm saying? But when I feel like they hit you with
Yeah.
all those years, one,
Them
it
years,
eliminates the
yes. Yes. They
possibility of you
struck
getting
him.
parole, and that weight gotta hit you. Like you walk in like, dog, how much time you got? Shoot, I'm in here for $100,000 years.
Nigga.
Excuse me?
150,000 years. So anyway, maximum that was a maximum sentence, right? So this nigga gave him a max. The judge basically said, "Sir, you're never coming back outside, which is barbecuing ass don't need to be outside, right?" So just when you thought it was done, no, 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 no. In 2010, this man had the freaking audacity to file an appeal. Talk about legal
Where the
errors,
fuck
nigga.
you in
Is you
your
nuts?
appeal?
Oh man, I wasn't gonna say that, but since you said that, I'm with you. I'm with you. So look, the Court of Appeals left, stamped and denied. I appreciate that. And they told him to take his head back to cell block C, where you can meet up with Nasty Nate, and he could do what he do to you. So anyway, look, check this out. Now here's the kicker, right? His projected release date is March 19, 2106, right? That's March 19, 2106. Yes, you heard me. That's right. 99 years from the year he went in. His first shot at parole is March 20th,
I'm gonna write a
2037,
letter.
which you
I'm marking my
already,
calendar.
man,
I'm
nigga,
writing a letter.
I'm gonna be outside. Yes, outside. I'm gonna be outside. And don't let this nigga, do not let this nigga out, right? I don't care if he found Jesus, Muhammad, know what I'm saying, Ali, and he found Buddha. Don't let this nigga out. Know what I'm saying? Keep him locked up. So, because at the end of the day, Tim ain't nothing but a coward in a man's skin. The kind of dude who preys on young girls, hide behind manipulation, and thinks he can outsmart everybody. And the truth eats you alive. And now, he's exactly where he belongs. Locked up, washed up, and forgotten, and get in touch by another man, which he deserves.
I don't feel bad
So
for the
there you
nigga.
go. Why? Why would we feel bad for a nigga that killed somebody, you damn deep fried and barbecued them? Know what I'm saying? And y'all don't understand. Why would you go to Professor X? Know what I'm saying? Whatever the dude name is, confessing to this, know what I'm saying, this brother, this militant brother who trying to get the black community together about something you did to a black sister. I know this nigga like, why did I even get brought in this,
I mean,
bro?
maybe
Like,
he
you know what
felt
I'm
that was
saying?
gonna be a quote safe space for him. I'm not exactly sure.
Man, ain't no when you do a brutal murder like that, my nigga, ain't no safe space for you, dog. You gonna get whatever they give you. That's just my plan. But
He's lucky they didn't give his
anyway,
ass a death
so
penalty, which I feel like that would have been too easy. Like I feel like that would have been too easy for him. So
yeah. So that was the story of Tynesha Stewart and Tim, who gives a F about what his last name is. We didn't even mention it.
because I don't give a damn what his last name is. Fuck him in it. I don't
Oh
like I have
man.
no I don't care what his last name is.
I'm gonna send that nigga that message like, don't drop the soap. Just yes, man. Okay, so
I
here we
shouldn't
go.
have
Let's
sent
go
the
to our
message. I
favorites.
should. Yeah, I
What?
should send him an ignorant message. But anyway, okay, so let's move on.
Yeah, to our favorite segment called
Love, Lies, and Alibis.
Okay, here we go. So, all right. So last week we did a last week we had a what you call that a blast from the past our thing. We didn't do a love lies and
No, because
alibis.
I
Did
was
we have
I
a
was
love? Were we doing love lies? What did we doing in that episode? Were we doing love lies and alibis?
ugh, I think we did, but I think that was before we
I
started the group
think
and we didn't like we were just going off of our opinion. So I don't think if we even did it. Shoot, I don't remember. I don't remember. But yeah, and we didn't have an act. So this Love Lies and Alibis actually from 2 weeks ago because I had planned on doing two cases that week, but child,
yes.
with that live show and everything going on, it was
Man,
not
oh,
happening.
and that let me tell y'all real quick. Oh,
Yeah,
we'll
we'll
talk
do that
after,
for
but we
Love
gonna
Live.
talk. Man, that live was
Okay,
yeah. All
so
right, go ahead. All right. So what's
this
the
you actually
question?
chose this question.
I
Yes. Oh,
did.
because I remember what it stemmed from. Okay, so the question was, would you get your boyfriend, husband, wife's name tattooed on you? And if you already did, do you regret it? So this question came from when I was scrolling on social media. It's a very quick story time. I was
Oh,
scrolling
yeah,
on
yeah,
social
yeah,
media
yeah,
the
yeah,
other
yeah,
week, and
yeah.
Clarissa Shields done tattooed Papooses' name under her boob, and then she wore that shirt looking stupid. And I
Mm.
made a comment and I said, I'm not tattooing no man's name on my body, especially not a married man. And when I tell
Oh, and
you,
these niggas went
them men
in on
dragged the
Tiffany.
mess out of me. I was like, because I
Jeez.
said I'm not tattooing no man's. I had to literally turn off comments, and this is why I don't date. This is exactly why, because I said I'm not
These
tattooing.
niggas went in,
I'm
man.
not tattooing no man's name on my body. The only man's name on my body is my son. I have my oldest son's name and my second son's name, and I have my daughter because I suck because I haven't gotten that last boy's name on me yet. I'll get around to it one day. 8
I
years
know, right?
later.
So me, well, I got my ex on me, right? Yeah, I do got my ex name on me and
You
everything like
special.
that. So when you're in love, I know, right? You do stuff, and it's still on me right now too. That's so
That is
funny.
so disrespectful.
Um, I know, right? That's
And you
I
know
know.
what?
I got to get
Speaking
it covered
of
up.
people having, the one who shall not be named got your name tattooed after y'all broke up and still walking around with like
I
it's a
know,
badge
man,
of
and
honor.
still,
Freaking weird bitch.
yeah, she do got it on her, man, and she be every once in a
Pop
while.
out and show it
My
off.
baby mama
Like,
be, yeah, my baby mama be sending me little videos. She'll be doing something, make sure she's showing the screen,
bitch,
the
she's
name on there,
fucking
or whatever.
weird.
All right, well, you know what? So I say it is what it is. I did it. You know what I'm saying? Do I regret it? I ain't gonna know. I
You
don't
gonna get it
regret it.
covered
I
up?
mean, I know that sounds crazy. I mean, nigga, okay, yes, but I don't regret it. I mean, during that time, I was in love. Thought it was gonna be forever. You know what I'm
I
saying?
don't give a
So
damn
do I,
how in love I am.
all right, light skinned it. We know
Cause
that,
I
nigga. You
remember
have made it perfectly known.
Jair's dad, we was always into it, and we was always break up to make it, cause like he wasn't about shit, and he was like, we should get matching tattoos. And I remember I was like, and that was one of his plots to get me back. And I was like, yeah, we can get matching tattoos. I was like, we
Mm,
can go ahead and get Jair's name,
exactly.
like I was like, like put like a little heart around it. But that's as far as I'm going with you. That's as far as it's gonna go. Cause I don't want
Yeah.
nothing to
So
remind
like with
me.
me, yeah. So well, we already made it. So let's see what these some of these comments is, right? So our girl Neoma Scott, shout out. She was at the live show
Yeah, that's my
too. So I
girl.
want to give a
She
shout out
yelled
to
at
her.
me this
Yeah, she
morning.
was there. She yelled at you.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, somebody need to yell at
First
you.
of all, it was
Anyway,
not my
I
fault. It
did.
was a good yell. She was yelling because I dropped a sale today on patches and she just spent money with me yesterday. So that's my girl. But I was like, ma'am, don't yell at me. It
Oh,
hurts my
okay.
feelings.
Well, shout out to her. Shout out to your you gotta start dropping your
I
business too,
know.
man. You better start advertising your
Yeah,
shit. But
I gotta do
anyway,
that.
she said, I did. We're still married, but I regret because it's childish and ghetto to me now. Just my personal opinion. Now that I have a professional position, sometimes my tattoo shows on my chest and people ask me about it, and it weird to trying to
Oh
explain
yeah, people do
and
ask me all the time
everything.
about my
So,
son because his name is on my. They're like, oh, who's Isaiah? My kid. Moving on. So
all
Stephanie
right.
says, hell nah. Thought about it and woke up like a nigga not about to make me look stupid. No, only do name I will get is the one I birthed. I'm with her.
All right. So Britt Smith said, I'm planning to get matching tattoos with my husband this fall, but that's after 14 years. LOL. He did get my name tattooed on his chest for our 10th anniversary, though. 10th anniversary, whatever, nigga, you know what I meant. To say we're locked in for life is an understatement, and we are together forever and ever.
I
That's
love
beautiful.
that.
I ain't even got nothing
Yeah, I
ignorant. Yes,
love
I
that.
ain't even got nothing
So
ignorant.
Quatika said,
Yes.
absolutely not. Okay.
Ooh, just
Yeah,
right
straight
to
to
the
the
point,
point.
huh?
Time.
Lauren
Go ahead.
McAsh. Oh,
Go
my
ahead.
bad. Lauren McAsh and nope. It's a no for me. I appreciate all the other ladies sharing their why they did it and why it's not the best thing they ever did. I know at one point, or for real, maybe multiple times in the past, I would have considered it, but God, LOL, because I could be looking like a walking attendance sheet now at my big age. She gonna have a bunch of niggas. She gonna have a whole list of
So
niggas.
Alexia says, I was so close to getting my boyfriend's name tatted. I mean, next time he brought it up, I was just gonna do it. He knew someone we could just pull up on. I went through his phone and he was doing his MF thing. So glad I didn't. I do have my ex's name, but I only got it after he died. Gotta be a dead MF for me to get you tatted at this point.
That was funny. And one last one, Nicole Lightfoot. My true daily double jeopardy question is what is absolutely not? I also probably never get a tattoo, but it most definitely would not be a man's name. Go ahead, Nicole K. Lightfoot, your girl Lightfoot. So look, we want to thank everybody participating in the Love Lies and Alibis question of the week. We drop it every Tuesday. And how do you get access to this question that we drop? Easy. Join our Facebook group called Love Lies and Alibis. If you look it up on Facebook, you may have to put in Melanin Mysteries for some reason and it pops up, or you can try Love Lies and Alibis. Join the Facebook group. We have fun. We kick it. We do giveaways. It's fun stuff. You know what I'm saying? Just join it. You got to answer a couple questions, which is very easy to do, and you in like Flynn. All right, now we got that out the way. Let's talk about this live that we had, girl. First of all, we did that shit. You hear me, Tiffany? We
Mm-hmm.
did that. Yeah, we did that. And I'm talking about it was amazing. Like seriously, the people that showed up, we had technical difficulties at the beginning, but we gotta give a shout out to our girl Renee from Melanin Mayhem. Renee stepped up. She showed up and showed out to help us out. She actually tried to catch a flight to be there in person, missed the flight, tried to
No,
catch
she didn't
another
miss the
one.
flight. The
M-
first flight got canceled. The
Oh
second
yeah,
one,
yeah.
she was
I'm sorry, got canceled.
standby, and they left her. So,
Yes, the second one they
but to
left
me,
her.
it was even the effort of when we were just talking in
Yes.
conversation because I had a tech guy, and I mentioned it to her in conversation, and she was like, "Girl, absolutely not. Will you pay $500 for somebody to run something?" She's like, "I will hop on a flight and get there and do it for you." When I tell you, this is why
Yes.
I preach about. Yes, our
BTCC,
BPCC collaboration
BTCC.
over competition any day. This is what a real business partner looks like. I like that.
Looks like
That
yes.
touched me. Like she don't even know how appreciative I am. And I say, and I would do that for any of my BTCC members. Speaking of, you have been living under the rock and don't know what the BTCC is. We are
Speak on
the
it.
Black True Crime Collective, which is ourselves, Renee over at Melanin Mayhem, our sisters Brittany and Deja over at A Sip of Red Rum, and our brother Arthur over at Not My Brother's Keeper. We are the Black True Crime Collective. And if you are ready for the very first, because you ain't never heard it like
First,
this. Yes, we did a live show, but y'all ain't ready for this one. We are introducing crime, cocktails, and canvases. So not only will you get 4 live
four.
cases, 4. You gonna get to paint and sip, and we gonna be sipping. We are going to have a very good time. The date is October 18th, and we will be in Atlanta, Georgia. The tickets are on sale. You can go to any of our social media pages, and it is posted there. Get your ticket. VIP. Shoot, y'all snatch up them VIP tickets. Ain't nobody got general admission, because what you get with your VIP ticket is,
What you get? What you get? Tell them about the
ooh,
Gunline
child, you get a
Boss.
whole lot. So you're gonna get premium seating first and foremost. You get a drink ticket, a free drink. You get a custom. I think we're doing custom shot glasses. You're gonna get a custom lanyard. You're gonna get a custom BTCC panel. It's so much stuff included in the VIP. I mean, and if you don't want to be VIP, that's okay too. We just want to see you in the building. You can still do a general admission and come kick it with us. But we are going to have a time. So get on our social media pages. Make sure you grab those tickets because they are limited, especially the VIPs. And those are the ones that everybody is grabbing. So make sure you get them. And if you are traveling, we also have a room block. That those details are also posted. So, we're trying to save you a couple dollars here and there. So all you got to do is find us on social media. You can find us at BTCC, or you can find any of us separately. We all are advertising because we want to see y'all there.
Yes, it's going to be a time. So look, real quick to touch on the live show. It was awesome. The case was amazing. You guys would never hear the case, but we did the damn thing. And I got to give a shout out to my girl Tiffany. You don't understand. Tiffany be putting in so much damn work. It's freaking ridiculous. And I'm talking about, yes, I do what I can, but Tiffany made this shit happen. She literally put together the idea, the concept, and just ran with it and made it happen. And I'm talking about, it's amazing because we're doing the right thing. Because I ain't trying to get spiritual, but it is on Sunday. God, I'm always a firm believer that, know what I'm saying, God don't bless a mess. And whenever you are aligned with God's word, everything flows like it's supposed to be. Even from how we went from one spot at the location to the lady blessing us with the bigger spot to compensate the many people that we had. Man, we had alcohol there. We had free man,
Yeah, I
it
say
was
like yes,
lit. I say
we
that
got
to
blessed
say,
with gourmet free cookies at the last minute, like the upgrade on the spot. Even
yes,
when the devil trying to intervene and the tech was off, Renee still made it happen. Like everything
yes,
flowed into place. Like I said, people were coming
yes.
at the last minute, popping up like, "Hey, can I come to the live show?" Like with people we didn't even have planned
We had so
for.
many people. Yes, we had people, so many people there. Like I said, it was lit. I say that to say we're not gonna go into increment detail, but just say it was a time. Next time we do that, y'all need to buy tickets if it's live or if it's in live or if it's
Virtual, and
what you call that
y'all showed up, and
virtual.
that's another thing. Our virtual
Yeah, the
showed up.
virtual showed up. Yeah.
Y'all had the comments were hilarious. Like it was so fun to interact with everybody in real time. Like it's cool to record, but it was just so dope to do everything in real time. Like
Yes.
it was
And
just so
look,
dope.
and shout out to our cousin, Crystal. She won $100. We did a raffle and she won $100. Whatever. Did you send her
No,
money?
because I done been meaning to reach out to her for a whole week. So Crystal, can you please contact me? Because I keep forgetting.
I got you. I'm gonna see your number because I bet with Messenger.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I want to think, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, she probably didn't set up all type of stuff with that money. You know what I'm saying? Probably, you know what I'm saying? We gotta pay that girl her money. We got you, cuzzo. So next time we do it, make sure you get tickets. So with that being said, anything else? We good? We got no more housekeeping? I think that's it.
Yeah, I don't think that's it. I think that's it. Yeah.
Is it? No,
Yeah, no,
hold
I'm
on,
trying.
Tim.
You know
Yeah,
me.
that's
I'm
it.
trying. Oh, another thing. If you were at the live show and if you come to any of our events or even pay attention, episode 11, we did the wrongful conviction of Isaiah Andrews. My big brother, our big brother, Ricky Jackson. He was on that episode. He was wrongly convicted for a crime, 39 years. He has a movie that is now streaming on Amazon Prime. I was so thankful to be able to go to the premiere of the movie. It was amazing. It's called
Yeah.
Lovely Jackson. You're gonna cry.
Make sure you check it out.
It's an amazing movie. Check it out on Amazon Prime.
All right, all right. So with that being said, take us out,
All
girl.
right, so just remember that love should not come with a life sentence. So make sure you choose freedom, not felonies, and stay away from these raggedy, trifling, sorry ass
Mm.
niggas.
And nigga, don't eat everybody
Yeah,
barbecue
watch
either.
your
Just
mouth
throwing it
and do
out
that
there,
too.
nigga. It could be goddamn fingers and damn thigh meat. Just throwing it out there. All right, we out.
Peace out.